hit it hard enough. So sorry about the mute, guys, but well, you got to watch the custom draft screen. I was firing some shots at WPC Ace for their shameless reappropriating of the Dream League draft screen. So, well, the shots have not been fired, I guess, in practice. But yeah, WPC Ace, day number 3 of Eastern action continues now. Of course, I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. Hope you all are going to look forward to some good Dota. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to join me. We have a Dreamtime doubleheader coming up. Dreamtime first going to be playing Orenda, and then later on today, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. So if someone thinks I'm not, let me know. Tweet at me at LDDota, but they'll later be playing Tongfu Wangzhou. Sound, please. Chat trolling me a little bit. I'm just checking with my mods to make sure the volume is good. You chatters are worthless for that because all you do is troll. So I can't count on you guys anymore. All right, looks like the volume should be good. Okay, so we'll get into it now. Dreamtime versus Orenda. This is, I believe, Dreamtime's debut in WPC Ace. They've yet to play a game. DT Club, a team that's taken big wins, though. They took a win off of DK in the Starladder group stage. That was without Burning playing. They had Black standing in, but in the past, they've also taken games off of other major teams. They take care of business against CIS. They did drop a random match to Tongfu Wangzhou back in Starladder, but in the past, we've seen them take down LGD China, Invictus Gaming. That was way back in Sina Cup. And well, with that being said, we'll see if they can keep it up here. They've got what should be an easy opponent on paper, Team Orenda, but Orenda 2-0'd CIS, and that is the CIS team with Black as their new captain and drafter. And please stop, chat. Please stop trolling me. You're killing me, man. You're killing me, Smalls. Winter is not with me, unfortunately, guys. I actually tried to get him to cast. He was unavailable. It seems nobody wants to cast in the middle of the night or the late afternoon if you're in Southeast Asia. Demon chose to go sleep. He said he has some Cellucor to chug when he wakes up. I don't know. Something about Cellucor and snorting and injecting things and getting swole and yeah, whatever. He's doing something besides casting Chinese Dota. But yeah, Dreamtime, they'll be here on the Radiant side, and their first overall pick, the Visage, actually, which the last time I cast Chinese Dota, it was not really about the Visage picks. It was much more your Ancient Apparition, your Shadow Shaman, so maybe a slight change of pace here. The last time Orenda played, yesterday, when they beat CIS, they apparently ran some rather cheesy strats. I was working on the other studio, so I didn't get to see a lot of it, but I heard something about a 4-man mid. That's pretty much the extent of what I know, but well, with that 2-0 win, they'll be riding some momentum here. Undefeated so far in WPC Ace. They go for a Prophet, Ancient Apparition, pretty global opening. A bit light on actual reliable lockdown. Dreamtime reply with Centaur. And into the second stage of the pans we go, where, well, if you look at a lot of these Chinese teams, we're actually talking about it over dinner. The only Chinese team that's been running a lot of Ember Spirit is IG. You've seen LGD experiment with it back when Maybe was playing for them. At least one game I saw him run it. It did not go well, but in general, the Ember Spirit has not been quite as well received in China as he has elsewhere. Not to say he can't be used as effectively by the teams, but he just hasn't really caught on. We've seen a lot of more just like reliable tempo controllers mid. Heroes like your Puck have been all the rage. Once in a while, even the Invoker, if he's not banned, which he normally is. And we move into the second stage of the draft now, so it looks like Dreamtime go ahead and, well, actually, Orenda pick up Sandcane. Dreamtime reply with the Rubik. A lot of good spells to steal this game. Burrow Strike, arguably the best stun in the game to steal, outside of, or at least non-ultimate stun. And Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, great if you can get a hold of it. They needed some sort of reliable initiator since they already have the Visage. And the Centaur, they want to support who can make plays happen. So I like the Rubik pick. And now a TA comes out for Orenda. So they secure a pretty strong 1v1 mid hero in certain matchups. Now they do pick it 4th, which gives Dreamtime a chance to somewhat counterpick it with these last two. One of the heroes that does pretty well against Templar Assassin is Ember, the Flame Guard, very good at removing refraction charges. And if you want to go a little bit less conventional, there's always heroes like Darkseer. We've seen some teams experiment with Venomancer mid, but at that point, you are somewhat picking and laning just to try and counter TA in the lanes, and it can still end poorly for you.
5 seconds remaining.
Chat, you're just killing me. I see the microphone bar moving, okay? You're not fooling me, man. I see the bar. Stop. Just stop. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. XSplit, the microphone's moving. It's not even possible to not have audio. Just give it up. Give it up. My mod said it's fine. Let it go. Ah, jeez. You guys are rough today. Spectre the choice for Dreamtime. So, I'm still worried about how Dreamtime are going to deal with this Templar Assassin mid.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
Spectre not really a great solution to the TA, except that, well, you can maybe trade farm and come out on top later on. Orenda will ban Venomancer, sensing that Dreamtime need a solo mid, might want to go for somebody who counters the TA to some extent. Batrider has also been banned out in the first stage. He would be another great choice. Invoker here who does pretty well with the Forged Spirits especially. Lots of ways to remove those refraction charges, but yeah, thinking about what else is available to go for. Well, actually, since I'm showing the Chinese stream, I can use this Heroes list in Dota 2. You never get to use it when you've actually got a draft overlay, because then it makes the screen look really weird, but as I say that, I think it's not going to load. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, fellas. Come on now. If you haven't heard anything about WPC, I know some of you guys maybe not quite as familiar with your Chinese Dota, which is a shame. You should be. WPC is the biggest Dota 2 tournament outside of the international, bar none. Star Ladder Season 9 has over 200,000 in prize money. WPC, their base prize pool is more than that. 250,000 roughly. I actually don't think it's crowdfunded. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I don't think the ticket adds to Dota 2 sales, which, if that's true, is a little disappointing. I could be wrong. I have not actually looked at the ticket. I just haven't seen any mention of it, and so I just assume it's not a crowdfunded ticket, which I feel is a shame. I mean, I feel like it could easily hit 400 to 500K. The Chinese Dota audience is a big, big component nowadays of ticket sales, and well, obviously an event focused on their region is going to bring in a lot of interest. But, well, I could be wrong about that. We'll see what the chat has to say. For now, Wraithkane's the final choice from Orenda. Very strong tri-lane here. I actually like this Wraithkane pickup a lot. Synergizes very well with Templar Assassin, who does mass physical damage. You get that lifesteal as a ranged hero. Great for taking Roche early with the meld, the vampiric aura. This is a pretty... If you're ever going to run a Wraithkane, I feel like this is a good time to do it. On the dire side with other high physical damage output heroes who can take Roche early. That's pretty much ideal. I'm a fan, guys. I'm on board with this pick. Viper's the response from Dreamtime. And they'll get a solo mid who does decently against Templar Assassin. Good for kiting her. And you can use meld to dodge certain things like the Nether Strike, I believe. I believe you can meld dodge it. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, there's it's an okay matchup for TA. She might get kited a little bit, but if the supports ever come roaming in, Viper is a very easy kill. Sand King, Burrow Strike, Ancient Apparition follow up, and they can bring him down with the trap. So Viper a good just kind of mid-game hero to tide them over while the Spectre gets farmed, but I'm not a big Viper fan personally. We'll see how it works out. But Dreamtime, they should be the favorites coming into this. That being said, Orenda, a team that can surprise everybody.
5 seconds remaining.
And with that being said, guys, it's time now. We're going to hop ourselves inside the game. Welcome to WPC Ace, day number 3 of the Eastern Division. Orenda on the dire side, DT on the Radiant. This will be a BO2, and, well, it wouldn't be Chinese Dota without pauses, I suppose. So, we'll watch some beautiful camera shots here as people are disconnecting, including K-Poptosis. We may or may not be testing something right now that you're not privy to. I'm actually going to see if it's working. Looks like we're going to be unpausing momentarily. We're testing something really cool on a top secret stream that you guys do not have access to. Yeah, you heard me. You can't see it, but it's there. Does that bother you? Just knowing that there's something cool and it's out there, but you just have to find it and you don't know where to go? Does that keep you up at night? Because it should. It really should. And it's awesome, man. I'll tell you, it's like the coolest shit ever. Hopefully we will debut it today for Starlighter North America. If I'm a little discombobulated, it's because I spent most of the past 12 hours stress testing what we're working on. And that which shall not be named. All right, but with that being said, it looks like we have resumed. We'll hop back into the game, and oh no, it looks like the tests are not going well right now, but hopefully he figures it out. We have Orenda on the dire side. They'll be your 2-0 team so far, tied for first place, guys, in WPC Ace. Of course, we haven't seen most of the big teams play. You've got Lee Oni handling the Sand King. You have ZYF on the Nature's Prophet, Luffy the Wraith King, 290 the TA, and Yi will be the Ancient Apparition. And on the Radiant side, Dreamtime. They've been the spoilers for some of the big Chinese teams. They even took down DK. DT are worried about that level 1 Roche, and they should be with a Templar Assassin and a Wraith King on the enemy team. XDD handling your Spectre. In July, your Centaur War Runner. Excuse me, I was going to say Windrunner. Super the Visage. Dreamy you the Rubik. And Air. I think I already mentioned the Viper. But, yep. Here we go. Orenda make an early move into the enemy woods. They drop a very interesting lane ward. Pretty far down the lane. Normally, when you see, like, the ideal lane ward is, like, right here. But that's much easier to deward. So, they're setting up for a first blood attempt. They've actually brought 4 in, and they've got the point in Chilling Touch. Treant's already leveled up. Oh, this could end poorly for Dreamtime. They never got any wards down in their woods. If they stick bottom, this could well be first blood. Ideal target, probably that Visage. 0 armor, reduced magic resistance. Rubik not a bad choice either, but the trap shall be sprung. Admiral Akbar would be very pleased. Here come the Treants. In they go. They pop the Chilling Touch. Burrow Strike on 2, and they go right to work on Dreamy U. Smacking down the Rubik. Easy first blood. And I think that'll be it. Oh, they're going for the quad lane shenanigans. They'll just start pushing. All right. They're just not going to lane top, I guess. I guess this is what they were doing yesterday. They're going to catch out another super gets caught next. This is just some great pub Dota right now. Quad lane bottom. DT. Oh, they can't be happy about this. They've dropped a sentry here. They want to deward this lane ward. Although at this point, I don't think there should be any more surprises, but it's not going to happen for them. What they should be looking to do is just get early levels up on these solo lanes. As bad as that is to give up the 2 kills, you should do fine mid. TA actually popping the refraction. 290 is taking a lot of damage here. But you can get your levels up. Sure, they've gotten all these kills, but they're still level 1 on all 4 heroes because they're quad laning bottom. As long as they don't take the tower, this quad lane is going to fall apart very quickly. Centaur already level 2. He'll be well on his way to level 6. And frankly, he could be level 6 when the rest of these heroes are like level 2 or level 3. As it looks like the Chinese stream is running an instant replay right now. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool indeed. And it just lagged, so I'm going to hop out of it. But yeah, they'll TP the Prophet back top. Problem is, Centaur's already level 3. Prophet, level 1. He does have gold for his boots, so not too bad, but in spite of the first blood, they're actually down experience. Sure, they're up 200 gold, so it looks like an amazing start for Orenda, but I feel like as soon as you get that first blood, you should just TP the Prophet top. Start getting your levels. It's not worth missing 3-4 waves of experience just to maybe get a second kill on a level 1 hero. But, well, they definitely get style points, guys. Style points? Sure. 290 will pick up a regen top. That's a very nice rune to have against this Viper, who does have some sentries out, so not going to be able to use Meld to dodge some of those incoming auto attacks, nor will the TA be able to use Meld to just hide and wait until the Viper leaves her alone or gets a TP in for support. The game seems a little quiet. I think it's just my speakers. If any of the stream mods are watching, guys, do let me know if the audio levels are good. I think we had some power outages from all the earthquakes and natural disasters happening in the California area, and we may have to tweak a few things here. So just bear with me if there are any issues, although I haven't seen any complaints yet in the chat. But yep, so far, it's a pretty even game. Viper doing well mid, 13-9. The TA 6-5. Should have an easier time getting these last hits as refraction levels up, but at the same time, Viper maxing the poison attack could have an easier time just kiting her. Poison attack max is a pretty unusual build nowadays. It used to be the go-to build. You get the 3 points by level 5, because it used to be that that's when you got the 0 cooldown orb, but now you get it at all levels. So generally what you see is either another Toxin max or a Corrosive Skin max, and just the 1 early point in poison attack. Looks like Dreamy U wants to make a gank top. He's going to rotate for that. But yeah, this is a very unusual Viper build. I guess the thinking is just You want to be able to kite the TA as effectively as possible. The damage over time will help break the refraction. And just a generally more like, what's the term? War of attrition style build. Bottom lane. They're looking for this trap, but there is a Radiant Observer now. They've been spotted out. This is probably not going to work. However, ZYF could well fall. Level 5 Centaur. If they just get a lift, he is so dead. But he's going to head the right direction. Or is he? Right into Dreamy You, into his waiting arms. Drop him up, smack him down, double edge him for good measure, and he'll get dunked. That wasn't like a full dunk. That was like one of those, you know, dunk a balled up piece of paper in your trash can. In your bedroom dunks. Are those like mini fake basketball backboards that little kids put on their walls? Yeah. That's the kind of dunk that was. We're not going to get too excited over that, but yeah, dunks were had today. So haste run up on the TA. This is a pretty big rune. Potentially could go for a kill on the Viper. Would want to harass him down a bit more. Ideally have refraction up and have it close to the cooldown and then go right as it's about to wear off so you get the 2 rounds of refraction. But Viper does need to be a bit careful here. This TA going to hit level 6 first, actually. 18 and 11 to the 18 and 13 of Viper. Oh, never mind. He'll hit level 6 like 1 or 2 creeps later. So just slightly behind as the wave was pushing a little bit. So, well, now it's a tougher kill. If you tower dive against Viper Strike, sure, you're still hasted, but the main issue is just all that damage you're taking. Refraction will be close to useless, and he'll back off to base anyway. Air. Not having access to the courier, just wants to play it ultra safe. That's going to pretty much guarantee 290 this next turn, I feel. Can push in the lane before the 6-minute mark, and is having a good time. You picked the Viper mid, somewhat to shut down the TA. I mean, it's still a decent hero mid game against Skeleton King, but ideal reason is to win that 1v1 matchup. But Air, not really doing it at all. Not controlling the runes particularly effectively. That is an area where Viper tends to struggle. And not preventing the TA from farming either. Rune will spawn momentarily, and it is an invis top. Surprised to see 290 not going for it. He sees... Oh, he hasn't seen Dreamy You. Maybe worried about the Rubik roaming mid. Speaking of roaming, Orenda making a move of their own. They'll move Leone in. I think he got the first blood. Yeah, he's pretty farm with the Arcane Boots and the TP scroll already up. And they start painting. They actually... I think they think the Radiant have an Observer Ward here, but they're wrong. The Observer Ward's actually over here. Still would spot that rotation, though, as they walked right through this choke point in the river. But here comes Leone, level 3 Sand King. Already Centaur, level 7. There's no Skeleton King ult, no Wraith King ult here, I should say. And they're just going to look to go on Leone. Prophet joins the party, but this Centaur does a lot of damage. Quite tanky with the Stout Shield. In comes the H Apparition. They'll get the kill on a level 7 Centaur. Huge kill. And the traps will fly now. In comes the TA as well. Looking for Dreamy You, not level 6. Nothing to steal. The Psyblade's doing work. The chase continues. They're going to pick up another. The Pub Stars just running over Dreamtime. One more auto attack. Down goes the Viper. Double kill for 290. Oh boy. They're working him over. Up by 1,500 gold, and the experience lead that Dreamtime had accrued just plummets the other direction. The one thing you cannot afford to do when you have an over-leveled solo is have him die to under-leveled supports, because what were once level 3 supports are now level 4 in the case of the Sand Cane, almost level 5 in the case of the Ancient Apparition. So, just a devastating kill to give up, really. The Pub Stars, man. This Orenda team, they played through like the open qualifiers to get here. There was, I believe there was like a semi-pro qualifier. That's what CIS won. And then CIS lost 2-0 to Orenda. But Orenda, apparently they're like some sort of organized group of amateurs. Like there's some like amateur clubs that help put the team together. Something along those lines. I may be getting the story slightly wrong. But they are definitely not a semi-pro team. Not a professional team at all. But hey, they're showing that they have some skills here. And hopefully we'll see more big plays out of them in the minutes and moments to come. Meanwhile, Dreamtime, they've had enough. They want to get control back on this game. Dreamy You, in July, will be on the move here. Super's in tow as well, only level 4, and they want this TA. Phase boots are out, but she is just so dead. Even the Spectral, that is some hate for 290. You get a double kill, we get a TA kill, they say, and they most certainly will. At the same time, though, that was such a huge commitment that it's still a good kill, but It's not that good. They split the experience 5 ways. Actually, I don't know if Spectre was there. Maybe it was 4 ways, but they split it quite a few ways, and Orenda are just doing damage to towers. They're split pushing top, they're split pushing bottom, and they're chipping away. Already level 8 up on the Prophet. There is a Centaur Blink, though. That could be the one really devastating thing to come out of this for Dreamy. I wanted to say for Dreamy U. For Dreamtime. Potentially a game-changing item here. At the same time, level 6 up on the Skeleton King. Not the hero you want to be targeting. And the tower will fall bottom. So, first tower of this game. Not going to the team with the Viper, the Visage, the Centaur, the pretty strong 5-man lineup. It goes to Orenda. Mostly because Dreamtime just hated on that TA. Quad lane mid. I guess they're thinking, hey, you quad lane bottom, we'll match you with a quad lane mid. We too can play at this game. That must be the thought process. Bottom lane XDD will start taking some harassment here. They're giving a lot of experience and space to the Sand King. Although now a dagger comes through. He could be in trouble. There's a blink available. They just need to get in range, and he knows it's coming. He tries to juke away. Oh, he burrow strikes, but just a split second late. Does get stomped mid-animation. Good thinking, though. He saw the Centaur coming. He knew, without a blink of his own, without phase boots, he would be run down, so he tried to time it so right as the Centaur blinked in, he just burrow strike the other way and basically dodged the incoming stun. Timing wasn't quite right. In July played it patiently, but it was a good attempt by the Sand King. Meanwhile, DT, they'll smoke, they'll head towards top. No mech up for Air, who's actually quite poor. 41 CS, but he's only sitting at 3,100 net worth, and the second tower goes down. Orenda, however you're supposed to say it. They're doing well here, man. They've taken 2 towers. They might lose their Skeleton King once, but the backup's on the way. Prophet ult comes through. I don't think they want to stick around. That reincarn slow, 50%. It feels like 1,000,000,000%. Well, they've got the Centaur ult to counter it, I guess. But with the Centaur ult down, let's go Roche, they say. No Centaur ult, straight into the pit. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And it will be pretty easy, Roche. That's some decisive play. You often see pro teams that hesitate. These guys are supposedly pub stars, and they are playing some polished Dota. Instantly, Centaur ult down, into the pit we go. This is actually, you know, it's not a big play in terms of like, oh my god, look at his reactions, but that's some great game sense from this team. Color me impressed. Oh, they're Orenda, but one of them spelled the team's name wrong, I guess. Or Luffy's just a hipster. I'm not sure. Okay, so it's just one player. They've got 1 Orenda player and 4 Orenda players. There you go. I wish my pub teams were this good, man. My goodness. I'm calling them a pub star team, but they do seem like a team that's practiced a bit together. Some prepared strategies, some creative drafts, good movements as a team, and not overthinking or hesitating too much. So, sure, they may be known more for their pub play, but or for their amateur play if you want to. The line's kind of blurred between what's a pub and what's just amateur competitive play, but either way, they're making things happen. As for Dreamtime, well, what can they do at this point? Obviously, they have a strong late game hero. The Spectre, the Centaur, 2 very devastating late game heroes. Their support scale quite well in terms of the Visage, your Rubik. They are a lineup that is effective in the team fights, I would say, more than anything else. And ideally, I think Dreamtime just want to bait Orenda into bad engagements. Don't overcommit. Don't force fights, because when you force the fights, you force into the reincarn. You may have to use your Stampede to retreat. TA with an Aegis now can start going ham. Better to just kind of wait for the right opportunities. Don't overcommit to anything. Give your Spectre space to farm. Although, as I say, that XDD, he should be farming bottom. You sow 4 mid. Generally, it's pretty safe, but he's just super scared. And I guess in his defense, where's the vision? They've got a lane ward here, but he just thinks they're 4-man smoke bottom. He's still traumatized from the laning stage. He's still traumatized from that tri-lane, quad lane bottom at level 1, and we'll play it safe. At the same time, yeah, just farm towards your Radiance. Wait out this Aegis. Don't try and fight now, especially... Well, I don't know if they've seen... I don't think they've seen it yet, but Leone has a blink. Not a good time to fight. TA with an Aegis, the blink's up. Ancient Apparition has his ultimate. Has that early medallion to make the next Roche even easier. They're in good shape. I think Dreamtime, just split push, stall, farm your Spectre, and wait it out. And as for Orenda, they go pretty late. They shouldn't feel an overwhelming sense of urgency, but at the same time, you want to use this Aegis to take objectives. Force the tier 1 mid with the Aegis, maybe take the tier 2 top, or potentially even push through mid towards their tier 2. Go for some smoke ganks, some pickoffs, be aggressive. If you just purely sit back and farm, then you're just giving DT a good chance back into the game. And in the mid lane, they'll go through onto Super, but quickly he starts falling. And the Ancient Apparition ult comes through, isn't going to connect. The Sand King, the first casualty of war. Now the double familiar stun. They're kiting nicely here. However, Super gets caught off. The Centaur brings down the Ancient Apparition on the backside. So far 2 for 1, but can Luffy and his band of brothers turn it around? Doesn't look like it. His ult still cooling down for 30 seconds. He will fall. 4 dead. Orenda, Armlet toggle, not enough. They've lost everyone except for their TA, who TP'd out bottom to push. Oh boy. Well, perhaps I sung their praises a moment too soon, guys. I done jinxed it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. Actually, I just noticed that as well. Why does Sand King not have a point in Epicenter at level 8? With Arcane Boots as well? That is a very good question. This is an unusual build, to put it gently. Yeah. I would recommend taking the point at Epicenter. 2 points at Sandstorm, it scales quite well. You can maybe get a 3rd value point. It's worth maxing eventually, but just maxing at first. Very, very surprising. The worst part about that fight is XDD just goes right back to farming, though. He has 1,800 gold, and they need to slow him down. They know this relic's on the way, and they're trying to do it now, but XDD on the retreat has no TP scroll. He could be caught out here. There's a blink in. They need this Burrow Strike. The Burrow Strike completely whiffs. Oh. Oh, he just jumped slightly too late, and it didn't work out in the end. Meanwhile, top lane, ZYF gets caught out by the Centaur. It was a stomp to start, and a double edge to follow, but not enough damage, and in the end, DT will go for the push here. 3 heroes grouped up top. Just one hiding in the trees in the form of XDD and Orenda, and Orenda Luffy will push through bottom lane. But Dreamtime are playing this quite smart. Just stall, give your Spectre space, defend your towers as best you can. They just assume he TP'd out. Did they not see he didn't have a TP scroll? They must not have seen. Because they should know that he's somewhere in the trees. That's a little surprising. Now the Haunt comes in, and Orenda are caught under the tower. TA Melts does have the Aegis up, alive for now. Dreamy U dropping low in the trees. He's stolen the Sandstorm and stays around. Spectre gets 1 kill on the backside. He gets 2. XDD already getting farmed like crazy. In July, on the run, Willfall does not get off that next stop. Now the Reincarnonk, is it enough slow to turn it around? Jumping forward is 290. XDD gets done. They need to focus here. They're not focus firing properly. Oh boy, Luffy next on the list. That's 4. And it's just falling apart now. The wheels are coming off for Orenda. The team fight of DT, just too strong. And boy, do they wish they had a point in Epicenter now. Huh? That would really help. Everyone would drop to like 2/3 HP with the mech usage. They were a little bit below that on some heroes until the mech got used, and then unfortunately, I guess the mech is not... The H Apparition ult hasn't really been hitting heroes. Or at least not enough heroes, and not at the right time, because the mech is doing a lot of work in these fights. Oh, the throws. I don't know if you'd even call it a full throw. It's also just DT baiting these fights well and being a good lineup to take team fights. But things like not skilling Epicenter, forcing some questionable fights, and not chasing down the Spectre when you know he doesn't have a TP scroll. Well, it's coming back a bit to haunt them now. They do know the next Roche is coming. They've got a good lineup to take the second Roche, but by the time they take that Roche, there should be a relic out for the Spectre if XDD doesn't die. And with that failed gank, they may just stop putting pressure on him. It's one of the biggest traps I think you can fall into is if you mess up a few ganks, just deciding, let's slow roll it, let's not take any more risks. Sometimes you can do that based on matchups, but this is a game where Orenda should be looking to keep that pressure up. In comes your Templar Assassin Air. They'll just pop that Centaur ult immediately, let him retreat out. And meanwhile, they found ZYF. Super looking for a Grave Chill. Probably doesn't want to pick a fight with the Necro 2 Prophet. And they will go for the Roche again. Trap's getting dropped. It's a little bit early, actually. No, just prepping for the Roche, I should say.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Luffy. He's caught out. He's already used the Ankh as well. He has the armlet toggle, but doesn't even get it off. The Haunt comes in. The kill goes to the Rubik. And right as the Roche could potentially be respawning. So now if you're... Oh, and they're even bringing ZYF down low. He's almost dead to the Soul Assumption. Barely TP's out in time. If you're DT now, well, they might just take a risk. They say the Skeleton King's down. Without the Skeleton King, Orenda probably won't go Roche. Also, the chances of it respawning right at 8 minutes, fairly low. Let's go take a tier 1 top. I'm not sure what he's saying, but it feels like a mixture of English and Chinese. Well, we've got to pause here, guys, so if you're just joining us, we'll check out the Chinese stream. You can go back in time a few seconds. Oh, there's a little chit-chat here. I'm talking about the caster Skype group, but yeah, we have instant replay functionality here at Beyond the Summit now, courtesy of the slightly delayed Chinese stream, guys. I'm hoping they'll actually show us some cool stuff during the break. They have all kinds of production features, man. If only we had their budget. Someday we'll have that kind of a studio. But I gotta say, WPC, I made the joke in the stream chat, but I think it's a fair comment, is, to me, it just feels like the Korean Dota broadcasts, except with really good Dota teams. You have some decent Korean Dota teams, but, I mean, there's no DKs, IGs, top-level Dota teams. They're not bringing in teams like Alliance, and, well, actually, they will have... Oh, nice replay! We've got a replay of the pause! Sweet! Yeah, it's Korean Dota with top-level teams, basically, in terms of the production, just the overall package. Can't be beat. Can't be beat, man. I'm just looking forward to seeing that Vici Gaming DK rematch from Season 1. If you didn't watch the Grand Finals of Season 1, oh boy, you missed out. In chat, Brishno will fly top. It was the reverse all-kill from Team DK. Only has happened, like... And it was a best of 7 as well. So they went down 0-3. There was this really mysteriously long break. It's like an hour and a half. Supposedly it was Hao had to get his visa or something. I'm not sure. Something weird like that happened, and then... Or maybe, no, it wasn't Hao. Who was it? I can't remember. I think it was someone for Vici Gaming. And then... DK came back. They won 4 in a row. That has happened, I think, once. I don't follow StarCraft 2 that closely, but from what I was reading and other people were saying, it's happened like once in StarCraft 2 history. Barely any games even use best of 7 outside of StarCraft and WPC Ace. It was a 12-hour broadcast, though. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I want to do those very often. And it turned out to be... It's a best of 7, some really long games in there, and then they had a lot of delays, like 5-6 hours of delays. But, well, back to this game for now. Dreamtime, they'll be pushing, they'll take a tier 2 top. They'll give up an Aegis here, but how much do they really care about this? Getting this tier 2 top, that's pretty much your Radiance for XDD. And honestly, if you're going to give up a Roche, I think that's the perfect trade. Get a Spectre Radiance online. TA's not that scary yet. Just has the kind of the utility items, really. The Phase Boots, Drums, Yasha. She does decent damage. Sure, but DT have good heroes to kite a TA. They've got the Viper slows, the multiple slows. Spectre Radiance to burn through the refraction charges. Lots of lockdown. They have Stampede to run away from her. And Orenda, at this point, to me, very dependent on the Sand King's initiations. Or counter initiation. If he gets off a really good epicenter... Oh, the pings come out right now. In fact, XDD is saying, let's fight. And his team may come for this. But yeah, if they don't get a good epicenter, chances of winning this fight, I feel, are quite slim. Spectre's here in Spirit. They've basically got 5 top. Orenda, are they going to commit into this one? The Centaur, caught up by the trap. Not going just yet. Centaur gets jumped, and they've caught out Leone. Oh, he managed to jump away, but the Rubik has stolen Burrow Strike, and he's going to burrow through on 2. Aegis down. Sand King down. DT on a roll. This will be another death here for 290, I believe. He'll just take down to the Radiance damage. Ancient Apparitional comes in. It'll connect on 5, but it's only a level 1 Ancient Apparitional. They might get a kill or 2 on the way out. Dreamy U slowed up for now. Luffy Wants to make his move in. Well, so much for the good Sand King Epicenter, huh? Oh boy. He had a really fast arcane moods and quite a fast blink as well, but I will say for Sand King, not a fun game to have a blink at this stage. There's a lot of ways to get caught out. The biggest one, obviously, just being the Centaur Blink Stomp, Centaur Blink Ult, and the Spectre Radiance Haunt. As soon as he haunts, well, your Blink Dagger gets canceled, they know where you are. Good luck getting an Epi off. So, it's just tough for him. Now it's at a point where Orenda are in a pretty dicey situation. Sure, they've got quite a few heroes that scale well into the late game in terms of just raw damage output. TA does. Wraith Kane's got pretty decent damage output late game, mainly because of the Mortal Strike crit chance, which is an okay crit. Not quite as good as the Juggernaut, but not bad either in terms of effective DPS. But their heroes are just easily kited, as mentioned before. So will they get to dish out that effective DPS? Probably not. And now Rubik has that stolen Burrow Strike, almost has his own Blink Dagger. This is where DT could look to get aggressive. Just wait for the Spectre ult to cooldown. They have their Centaur ult online, and then smoke maybe behind the Spectre. Just have the Spectre farm one lane, smoke gank the other. Go take one big team fight and just beat down the Kings. Smack down Luffy, smack down Leone, and cruise. There's a nice Observer Ward here for the Dire side. They'll spot most of the enemy movements, but now the team fight of DT, it's going to level up. They'll pick themselves up a pipe. They've already got the mech and really tanky, so even utility heroes now. Your Visage up to 1400 HP. Your Viper sitting on a mech and an Ogre Club, and they're technically still down in terms of gold earned. There was like one buyback on Orenda in the last fight, so we're going to have a bit more gold, but again, it's not going as far on this team. I feel like they almost have to take it ultra late game. Just wait until their TA, their Wraith Kane are like 5-6 slotted. And mainly get the Ags up in the Ancient Apparition. With that, they might have a decent shot. They're definitely strong in turtling. That's where they have a higher chance to get the Blink Epi off. Not great against Spectre with Radiance, but better than outside the base, that's for sure. And, you know, the Ancient Apparition ult obviously good for turtling as well. But, well, we'll hold that thought as EYF gets caught out top, lifted up after the Burrow Strike, and nothing to do but just hit the deck. DT, not afraid to hit the kill switch there as they pop that Centaur ult. Just a minute cooldown and change. What a hero. Centaur definitely a hero who I did not expect to see this much play out of. If you go back after the changes, he was still ignored. And then all of a sudden, teams just started running him. Ice Ice Ice, probably the player to use him most consistently and effectively, and well, since he's really started using him a lot, everybody else has joined the party. And the other thing going for Orenda in the late game, of course, is the Nature's Prophet factor. He'll have a reasonably timed Hex, considering he went for Midas Necro 3 phase first, so some decent mid-game items. You get the Hex up, they can start finding pickoffs potentially on the Rubik, the Viper. They'll need a +1, but that's where the Ancient Apparition ult can come in, and, well, Orenda will smoke up now. 4 heroes grouped up mid. They'll charge down the lane, looking for some pickoffs. Who are they going to find? XTD. Oh, they're waiting for this. Angeli's in position. There's a trap here. We'll spot him out right now. What? So yeah, that just happened. I think he may have wanted to go on the Spectre, but the Radiance Bird canceled his blink. But I don't know. That still was a... This was still a pretty questionable position to dive the Spectre in. Rough game for the Sand King, guys. Rough game indeed. The push comes through top now. XDD, Yasha online. Manta style coming soon. And just getting to scary mode, basically, very quickly. Remember, this Spectre got aggressive tri-lane. His team gave up 2 kills in that lane and a first blood. But he's come back in a big way. Just good positioning, has not died at all. Sure, his teammates were dying, but 4-0 and 8. That's your job as the carry. Just play it safe, play it conservatively as Spectre. You just need to get to the mid-game intact. A lot of players just overcommit to early fights as heroes like Spectre, when all you really need to do is just play it defensively. Much better to maybe miss out on a kill, but not start feeding. As a hero like Lifestealer, Weaver, these heroes that can be aggressive early on, it's a little different, but when you're Spectre, you're so timing based on getting your one core item, usually the Radiance out. That slightly more cautious approach is really the way to go, and especially when played from behind. So, well done by him. Now the Desolator comes out for TA, but again, I just feel this TA is very squishy. BKB is up. That's a pretty big item this game, but there's still the Viper ult to kite. There's still just a lot of physical damage coming out as well from the Visage, from the Familiars. And Refraction generally going to be quite useless this game. Just so many damage sources, and even if you're magic immune to the Radiance Burn, there's still just a lot of right clicks as well. So we'll see. Maybe Orenda can bait DT into overextending. I still feel that's their best play. Given their position, if they force a fight and they force it onto someone who has backup, which DT, if you've watched the way they move, they almost always have 4 or 5 heroes nearby. It's just going to end in a disaster for them. So they need to force DT to overcommit, maybe catch a hero retreating after they take a tower, but DT are grouping up. They drop the pipe, they'll start sieging the bottom tower, and in comes your Ancient Apparition ult, off the mark. Oh boy, that was not good. Just clips the Spectre. Meanwhile, a little rat Dota from your Prophet. Trying to TP out, but Centaur's here with the stomp, the follow-up double-edge haunt surprise! And ZYF will fall. Meanwhile, bottom lane. They know everybody's left, and now they're on the chase. They want this courier kill, but there's no blink on the TA. Can't get it. Nothing doing. And they'll make their move, looking for some familiars, perhaps. The Axe is out, which means lots of tasty treats. Everybody's hunting familiars. There's no resummon for 120 seconds. And they're... Oh, are they going for him? No, they've given up. Meanwhile, Leone's just being a man. Being a sad man. No points in Caustic yet, so... a bit disappointing with his pushing prowess. But DT are in a good spot now. Manta's going to come out. They've gotten their items up on their cores as well. And I think at this point, they'll just look to take one good team fight as the next Roche respawns, which it does right now. And if they win that team fight, they take the Aegis, they have the triple familiars, the Spectre will have Aegis, and then they could start pushing for high ground. Save your haunt for after the Aegis, maybe even for a buyback, but, well, deaths like this are going to hurt them. Super falls, triple familiars. Well, will they go for those? No, they'll back off. They want to go for this Roshan. Does Visage... Visage not the best hero to kill here, though. He still has the 3 familiars, so he's basically still in the fight. Orenda basically did not get a... They got a hero kill for the purposes of gold, but not in terms of this being a 5v4. And Orenda should recognize that, look to back off. DT. They'll TP smoke simultaneously, pinging out ZYF. That was smoke mid, ping bottom, or TP bottom, and then ping top. These guys are all over the place. There's a blink. Stomp on in. They've caught out Leone. The Sand King falls yet again. It all started with the blink from Rubik, who's now still on a Wraith Fire Blast. What kind of a name is that? Wraith Fire Blast. I remember Skeleton King used to have this exact same stun as Fen. They used to both have just a single target Stormbolt, but we'll talk about that another time. Luffy jumps in now with the BKB. They try to bring down the Centaur, but just not the hero you want to be focusing. The pipe's there. They do get the kill, but now Spectre joins the fight. XDD, he's got a Manta style here. He'll bring down ZYF, and he's just going to start cleaning up. Luffy's low. He does have his ultimate, but he's going to fall. Eventually gets a crit as he brings him down. Ancient Apparition comes through, but the problem is this TA, who's going to lose her gem. It hits the deck. Now they focus the Wraith King. The Spectre illusions are here. It's 4 heroes dead. And even with the Sand King buyback, that was a dieback from Mr. Sand King. And DT are just going to march down mid. No, they're going to march down Roche.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Orenda showed a really good start to this game, but the follow-up just wasn't there. Too many mistakes in the mid game. Some overextension, some good team play from DT, and also just, again, the strength of the DT lineup. Very good in the 5v5 clashes, even with relatively minimal farm. But I do see a lot of promise for this team. You know, if they had just adapted a bit quicker, I think you get the first blood. You just TP'd Prophet top instantly. You don't need to sit around and go for a secondary kill. You just want that first blood gold, the tri-lane advantage, and then go get your Prophet levels. He can join the tri-lane later on and make a bigger impact if he's already level 6. As well as just what they did with the first Aegis. Took the team fight mid, but it just, I guess the way they execute just wasn't the best. Mainly because they didn't have a point in Epicenter for Leone and needed that extra AoE damage to take the fight. Still, not 100% out of it yet. They'll fight on, but the graph is swinging north. Heading the DT way. Does anyone else get confused because Radiant is on the top of the graphs? Oh, we might see Angelite die here. Oh, they'll catch him out. This could be the death of the Centaur, but yeah, Radiant is on the top of the graph, but they're on the bottom of the map. I just find that very bizarre. The whole, like, the draft screen should just be broken left to right. Or, like, I guess ideally it should be broken diagonally. But it might be a little hard to fit everything in this space. Oh, I don't know. Then again, I say that, and I'm just thinking, like, how awkward it would be to make a diagonally split draft screen, but it sounds good in my head. Then I'm thinking about how you'd actually implement it. Now I'm quickly eating my words and regretting it. Oh, not the first time, not the last time, guys. Here comes Orenda bottom. Look for some pickoffs. Familiars on the retreat. DT, though. They force out the rotation, even with the dead Centaur, and sure, they lose the Centaur here, but he's already got all his items. Shiva's was bought shortly before he died, and he's got a freaking Shiva's at 34 minutes. He's been a player for this team. 12k net worth, but that 12k goes a long way on Centaur. They try to cliff this TA in the river, and they hit him with the... Oh, the TA gets caught by the Viper ult. That's going to be bad. However, Dreamyu gets caught out of position. Rubik will fall, but this is only a Rubik. Spectre pushing through top. They want these familiars. Apparently, I'm drunk for making that suggestion. I'm okay with that. I'd rather be drunk and have suggestions than be sober and have none. Yeah, there you go. I just think for DT right now, the main goal is just get like one more item on Spectre. Diffusal Blade's out. He can either get the Diffusal 2, or I think more likely just go straight for a heart. And then they want to take the fights here. At that point, they're not at critical mass, but they're about as strong as they want to be. If they wait too much longer, that's where here like TA just does way more burst damage late game. And speaking of burst, Air's just going to melt. Epicenter's here, but not really needed either. There's your haunt in from XDD, but the BKBs come out. They need to focus somebody down. The XDD's low. They burrow strike through. Can they kill off the Spectre? Oh, he's still got Aegis. Uh-oh. They need to get the hell out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. That's fine. That's a 5-man wipe. I thought the Aegis was down, just judging by their focus fire, but... Oh, their commitment was in vain. There was still 4 minutes on the Aegis. They should have just let the Spectre run away with low HP. Honestly, kill the backline heroes. Do not commit on a Spectre who's got Aegis. Here comes DT. They'll push through mid. They've got the triple familiars online. There's a buyback from the Nature's Prophet, but to what end? As DT begin to bang away on the tier 3 mid. In comes the Enchant Russian Ice Blast. Hits the wave, hits the Spectre, but he don't care. 5.8k gold. DT going straight for the jugular in game 1 of this 2-game set. Looking strong after a shaky start. They'll bring down their first lane of racks, and Angelai just says, let's throne it, boys. I think a bit premature, and he will back off. They'll look to catch him on the way out. Blinking forward is Leone, but cannot get in range just yet. Meanwhile, bottom. Prophet bought back. TP'd in, fed bottom. I saw him buy back. I figured, he was maybe just looking to stall this push, but yeah. He tried to rat, and the rat was exterminated. Justice was done this day. Now Vlad's up for your Visage. Heart's coming soon for the Spectre. And I think it's safe to say DT are ready to go for the GG. Indeed, it does rhyme. Ultimately, a win's a win. Sure, they've looked sloppy, but in terms of the standings, the standings don't care how you got there. They only care about the end result. So DT can still feel good about the result of Game 1. Orenda, I think a learning experience for them. Some easily fixed mistakes as well. But still a loss, it looks to be at the end of the day. We'll find in July. Out comes the Melt Strike. Central will get popped. The Epicenter's thrown, and Leone. Oh boy, not his day. Every time he's guessed wrong. He's just been combination of bad luck and just some mistakes as well.
Dire's bottom tower is under
It's really
attack.
hurting him. In comes the Chapertional bottom. DT, they'll look to push this tower down. They'll bring down the tier 2. Finally, they get rid of it.
Has fallen.
And the way lies open out of the tier 3s. The tier 3 bottom, the tier 3 top. The lane mid already gone. In comes Dreamy U. Blinks, leaps forward, and then looks to go on Luffy here. The soul assumption's there. There's 4 seconds until the ult. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. He gets it off just in the nick of time. Oh boy, that was close. And Spectre says, let's fight anyway. He's just going in. Straight into the enemy team. He pops the Mantis Style. The Burrow Strikes there. Itch will follow up as well, but it just doesn't matter. The pipe, making everyone virtually immune. Spectre still has buyback. They brought down the TA. They brought down the H Apparition, and they forced a GG. Orenda just run away with, well, they ran away with the early game, but DT ran away with the game and the win in the end. They take game number 1 in your best of 2. Today is a DT doubleheader, guys, of course. This is only our first game of 4 to come. 2 best of 2 series. Well, coming up next, we'll have game 2. But Orenda, good start, sloppy finish. They'll have some things to work on here as they move towards their next game, but still, I think they should feel pretty good about their overall performance. Well, guys, with that being said, we're going to take a very quick break. We will come back momentarily for game number 2. Of course, I'm LD. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.